Ladies and gentlemen, anger is one of the strongest emotions we carry inside us. It rises fast, it blinds us, and before we even realize it, words come out, actions follow, and regret knocks right at the door. We've all been there. Someone says something disrespectful, life throws an unfair punch, or frustration builds up until it explodes. And in that moment, staying calm feels impossible. But here's the truth. Calm is not weakness. Calm is control. The person who learns to stay calm when angry is the person who refuses to let others push the buttons that run their life. Today, I'm going to show you a trick, a shift in perspective that will help you hold your ground, protect your peace, and command the respect that anger can never give you. Staying calm when angry gives you control over the situation, not the other person. When anger rises, it feels like the world shrinks down to a single moment, a single insult, a single frustration that burns hotter than anything else. The natural instinct is to react, to push back, to snap, to raise our voice, to prove we are not weak. But the real test of strength is not how loud we can be. It's how steady we can remain when someone is trying to throw us off balance. Anger convinces us that we must fight in the moment. But the truth is, the person who keeps calm is the person who keeps the power. You cannot control what someone else says. You cannot control how they act, but you can control your response. And that single choice changes everything about the outcome. When you lose your temper, you hand over control to them. You let them dictate how you feel, what you say, and what happens next. But when you stay calm, you take all that control back. You decide what matters. You decide when to respond and how to respond. You decide if the situation is worth your energy at all. Imagine two people in an argument. One is shouting, trying to prove their point, red in the face, hands flying everywhere. The other is standing still, breathing slow, speaking clear, not letting the fire pull them in. Who do you think has more control in that moment? It's the calm one every single time. Calmness disarms anger. It takes the wind out of the storm because the storm has nothing to fight against. When someone comes at you with anger and you meet them with more anger, the fire grows. But if you come at them with calm, it's like pouring water on the flames. Suddenly, they look out of control, not you. Suddenly, they realize they can't move you, they can't shake you, they can't own your peace. That is power. And staying calm doesn't mean you ignore what's wrong. It doesn't mean you let people walk over you. It doesn't mean you keep quiet when something needs to be addressed. It simply means you do not let your anger be the driver. You can still stand your ground. You can still speak truth. You can still set boundaries. But you do it with control. You do it with a steady voice that makes people listen. You do it with presence instead of rage. Because here's what most people don't realize: the louder you get, the less people hear you. But the calmer you are, the more people pay attention. Calm demands respect. Anger demands attention but pushes respect away. And in life, respect is worth far more. Think about the last time you got angry. Maybe it was at a friend, a family member, a co-worker, or even a stranger on the road. In that moment, what did anger give you? Did it solve the problem? Did it make the other person change? Or did it leave you drained, frustrated, maybe even embarrassed about how you reacted? Anger is a thief. It steals your clarity. It steals your dignity. It steals the version of yourself that you want to show to the world. Staying calm protects all of that. It keeps your mind sharp enough to see solutions. It keeps your dignity intact. It keeps you aligned with the person you want to be instead of the person anger tries to turn you into. There's a reason leaders are remembered not for how they lose control, but for how they stay composed under pressure. The coach who keeps his cool while the game is slipping away, the parent who teaches through patience instead of shouting, the friend who listens before reacting, the boss who addresses conflict without raising his voice. These are the people others trust because they show strength without chaos. And you can do the same. Every time you stay calm when you feel anger rise, you are proving to yourself and to others that you are not run by your emotions. You are run by your principles. That's a different level of control most people never reach. Staying calm is not easy. It takes practice. It takes catching yourself in the heat of the moment and choosing not to explode. It takes breathing when your chest feels tight. It takes walking away when your ego wants to fight. It takes listening when every part of you wants to interrupt. But the reward is worth it. The reward is knowing that no one can pull you into their storm unless you allow them. The reward is walking away with your self-respect intact. The reward is building a reputation as someone who doesn't just talk about strength but shows it through discipline. And let's be real, anger will always show up. Life will always give you moments that test your patience. Someone will cut you off in traffic, someone will disrespect you, someone will talk behind your back, someone will push your buttons on purpose. But every single time, you are being given a choice: react with anger and lose control, or respond with calm and keep it. You can't stop the waves, but you can learn how to stand strong when they crash against you. That's what calm really is: strength under pressure. The storm may rage around you, but inside you stay steady. And when you learn that, nothing and no one can own you. Calmness is a strength that earns respect, while anger only takes it away. In life, people often confuse loudness with power. They think raising their voice, slamming their hand on the table, or letting their frustration spill out in raw emotion shows dominance. But what it really shows is a lack of control. True strength is never in the person who loses their composure. It's in the one who can face conflict, disrespect, or even chaos and still hold their ground without letting their emotions dictate the moment. Calmness is not about being passive. It's about being intentional. It's about choosing a response instead of reacting without thought. When you stay calm, you are signaling to everyone around you that you are not easily shaken, and that presence alone earns respect in ways anger never could. Think about the people you admire most. Maybe a teacher, a parent, a leader, a mentor, or someone you look up to in your community. Chances are, it's not the ones who exploded every time something went wrong. It's the ones who handled difficulty with poise. It's the ones who didn't need to shout to make their point. It's the ones who stayed collected even when they had every reason to be upset. Calm people draw respect because calm carries confidence. Anger only carries desperation. People can feel the difference. When you are calm, you are in control of yourself, and others sense that. They listen. They take you seriously. They respect you. But when you are angry, you push people away. They might hear your words, but they stop respecting your presence. They stop valuing your message because it gets drowned in the noise of your emotions. Calmness also creates space for clarity. Anger clouds judgment, makes you say things you don't mean, makes you act in ways that damage relationships, and makes you regret the choices you made in the heat of the moment. Calmness gives you the chance to see the bigger picture. It gives you the ability to pause, to think, and to make a decision that serves your long-term interest instead of your short-term feelings. People respect those who can see beyond the moment, those who can rise above the noise and still move with purpose. That's why calmness earns more than just respect. It earns trust. Others begin to trust that you will not lose yourself under pressure, that you will not overreact, that you will not let temporary emotions destroy permanent opportunities. And here's the truth. Anger doesn't just push respect away from others. It also steals respect from yourself. Every time you lose your temper, a part of you feels weaker afterward. You replay the scene in your mind and think, I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have done that. Anger robs you of pride in yourself. Calmness, on the other hand, builds it. When you hold your ground without snapping, you walk away knowing you chose strength over impulse. That builds self-respect, which is the foundation of earning respect from anyone else. People who cannot respect themselves rarely hold the respect of others, but people who master themselves naturally draw it in. Calmness also changes how conflict plays out. Imagine a heated argument between two people. Both are shouting, both are letting anger control their words. Nothing gets solved, everything escalates, and respect is lost on both sides. Now imagine one of them decides to stay calm. They keep their tone steady, their words measured, their body language in control. Suddenly the anger of the other person feels smaller, weaker, even childish. Respect begins to shift toward the one who can remain grounded. Calmness not only earns respect, it wins influence because people are more likely to follow the one who looks steady than the one who looks unhinged. In everyday life, calmness is the difference between creating enemies and building allies. A calm response to criticism can turn a potential fight into a constructive conversation. A calm approach to stress at work can turn chaos into teamwork. A calm tone with family can turn an argument into understanding. In every case, respect grows because calmness shows maturity. Anger destroys respect because it shows lack of discipline. No one looks at an angry person and thinks that's strength. They think that's weakness pretending to be strength. And they're right. But calmness does not come naturally. It's a discipline. It means practicing patience when you feel the urge to explode. It means training yourself to pause before reacting. It means remembering that every angry outburst costs you respect, while every calm response earns you more of it. Over time, people begin to recognize you as someone they cannot rattle, someone they cannot manipulate, someone whose respect is not just demanded, but commanded through presence. And that is where real strength lies. Calmness is quiet power. It doesn't need to shout. It doesn't need to show off. It doesn't need to prove itself. It simply stands firm and lets others see the difference between control and chaos. And while anger burns bridges, calmness builds them. While anger creates distance, calmness draws people closer. While anger takes away respect, calmness earns it and multiplies it. In the end, the person who learns to stay calm is not the one who wins the argument, but the one who wins the respect of everyone watching, including themselves.